Just
Hold on, I
hello,
forgot to put my earbuds
beautiful.
on. Wait.
All right.
I keep forgetting. When I go live myself, I don't put the earbuds in, but then I forget.
Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah.
Because you're in Malaysia, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
so it's morning time. Yep, good morning. And it's 5 p.m. here in Las Vegas. I'm on the West Coast. And it is such a
Wait, you're in Las Vegas?
yeah.
Did I tell you that's where I live?
You did the day I came into your live. Yeah, it was that's what was like
Ah,
ding ding ding. And
oh my
it was
gosh.
crazy because that's when I learned you were a metaphysician. And I was just telling everybody, you are living the life that I'm planning for myself to live abroad, to coach, to live, be in alignment with my purpose, to share the information that I have with other people, and just you're an inspiration. I'm like super fanning out right now because you're so awesome. And I've watched you over the last couple of weeks and the work that you're doing and how you're helping women become that inner wealth, that outer wealth, that vibrancy, that life. You have that, and I'm like,
Yes.
oh,
But wait, why when I saw your picture, I was like, wait, she looks like me and my sister. Like, what? You look so much like me and my sister.
oh really?
Yes,
I
yes.
love it.
If it was the three of us, it would be like nobody would question. They'd be like, "Oh, the three of you are sisters."
I love it. I love it. Yes, soul sisters. Let's get it. Let's get it.
Hmm.
For those of you that are just joining me, welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Conscious Conversations. It I'm super excited tonight. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Dawn Kristen Ellison. I'm a life mastery metaphysician, spiritual mentor, author, and transformational speaker. And it is my purpose, pleasure, and mission to help uplift, help people align, help inspire, and help you transform your life to become the greatest and best version of yourself so that you can live this life authentically and unapologetically, baby.
Oh
Okay? And
yeah.
today, I am so honored to have Kiné here. Kiné, can you please introduce yourself to everybody?
Oh my God, I wish I could introduce myself as fluently as you just did yourself. Like, I'm practicing that, but
I've been
I like to.
practicing.
I like to tell people I am Kiné Corder, the leading national certified counselor specializing in financial hypnotherapy. I do two things better than anyone else in the world, and that is financial strategy and emotional mastery. And so, what I mean by that is most of the time, money is the number one cause of stress, whether you have a little of it or a lot of it. And my goal is to make sure you feel comfortable with money, no matter what level you're at. So there's lots of things that teach you how to earn money. I teach you how to be comfortable with money.
That's a huge deal. That's a huge
Hmm.
deal because
Hmm.
so many of us were raised to either think money is evil
Yep.
and only greedy people have it. There's a
Yep.
lack mentality. There's not enough of it, or you have to go work hard to achieve it, to have it. And then
Yes.
there's the I'm the middleman. It comes to me, and then I give it to somebody else. I don't really get to
Yep.
keep it, use it, and allow it to be in my life. And then there's the other. I don't know how to grow money.
And that's where I come in. Those last two, it's like the better to give than to receive programming, where I'm the middleman, like you said, that was brilliant. And then that, like, I don't know how to grow it. And so many, especially women, like if men feel like they're not good with money, they're rarely saying that. But my ladies, my rich girls are often like, I'm not a numbers person. I'm not good with money. Like you said, I don't know how to grow it. And then they become afraid of it. So it's like all they know how to do is spend it. And they practice spending it. They practice spending it, but they never practice growing it, protecting it. And then, like you also mentioned, they get really good at gifting. And that becomes part of that claim to fame. So that even if they do earn a lot of it, the first thing they want to do is give it away. Even if it's give it away to Gucci and Louis Vuitton, that's one version. And then it's like give it away because can I borrow? Can I have? Can you lend me? All the charities and everybody's calls. Yeah. Oh, can I tell you a story
Absolutely.
about? So Oprah did the, what was the name of that tour? Best Life Tour or something like that. And at the time I was working at Morgan Stanley, and Morgan Stanley had a box. And so we were able to invite some of our clients. So I invited a couple clients to this Best Life Tour. We're all sitting there listening to Oprah tell this story about when she first got money. And this is two other black women. Like, I'm in Atlanta, just so you know, I was in Atlanta at this time. I'm in Atlanta. I'm sitting with two other black women, and the three of us are listening to Oprah say when she first got money, everybody was calling her. And not only were they calling her to help them pay bills and stuff, but then anytime they would have a cause, they, oh, can you give to this cause and that cause? And we're having a charity event over here and that, and nobody. And all three of us were like convicted. It was like church in that mud. We were like, oh my God, like this is the same thing that happens to us. Everybody's coming at us. And then Oprah said, eventually, she realized it's no, no, I have my causes. And if I'm giving to your cause, I'm not giving to my cause. So I took that, not just about the causes, but also the dreams. If you're funding everybody else's dream, if you're the middleman for everybody else's dream, who's your middleman?
The middleman. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yes.
a big thing. We I was speaking about this last night on live of how we do so much for others, but we don't do for ourselves. And some
Mm-hmm.
of us have the mentality of I'm gift, like you said, we'll give it to Louis and Gucci, but we won't give it to an account that can grow money or invest it someplace that can build the wealth in that space. We think we're
Mm-hmm.
giving to ourselves by getting a new bag that we're probably not even gonna like in 2 seasons.
Exactly.
You know, it's really wrapped around like you said, the mentality of it, and really becoming aware of where is my money going,
Mm-hmm.
how is it coming in, and how am
Yes.
I using it.
Yes, exactly. Hmm. And protecting it, which is one we don't talk about a lot. Even the wealthy don't talk about it a lot because the focus, because that part is not the smexy part. It's not the, cutesy part. We talk about insurance when we talk about protection.
Right.
We're talking about saying no. That's part of the protection is having a plan. And
Yeah.
I have multi-millionaires who still don't follow their financial plan. So sometimes people think, well, I don't even have enough to plan. Where other people say, oh, I have so much, I don't have to plan. Neither one of those is true.
Mhm, mhm.
Neither one of those is true. You should be planning your money no matter what stage you're at.
Yeah.
Because if you want to have it, you need to have a plan. If you want to keep it, you need to have a plan.
Yeah. What I'm finding culturally,
Mm.
specifically for African Americans, because black millionaires are only 100 years old, let's say. They haven't been
Mm.
that hasn't been
In
a
this country,
in
in
this
this
country.
country.
In this country, yes.
Hmm.
Let me correct that. In this country. And that's what we see. It's come through athletics. It's come through, becoming a doctor or a lawyer, entrepreneurs, of course. But
Hmm.
it people don't realize you can achieve those same things by protecting your money. I'm a life insurance producer as well. Well, I have licenses. I'm not practicing right now, but you can protect
We definitely got to talk about that.
your
Okay.
you can protect your money in all different kinds of accounts. But what happens mentally, this is what I've run into with a lot of people. When they think about protecting their money, what they hear is, I can't get to it if I need it. They always go into emergency because they don't
Mm.
feel like they have enough to save for emergency and invest to grow and
Mm.
to protect. That's the thing.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, what if I need it? What if something happens? They go into thinking
Yeah.
of the worst, and I'm victim of this too. You go into thinking of the worst. What if I need this for an emergency? My car, my family, medical, anything. And
Yeah.
it's I find challenge working with people saying, no, you can make the right moves. Just play your pieces accordingly, and
Yeah.
we promise you will make some kind of headway. We just have to learn that. And I think a
Yes.
lack of knowledge and education and resources, and but there's people like you who need to, need to be sought out, sought after to get those gems, to get those tools.
Yeah, and a lot of times they don't even know they have that need or that challenge because one, it becomes so common, and then the comedians joke about it. Like Kevin Hart used to have a joke about like, oh, I got to move my savings from the checking in check. The money is tied up and because yeah, and so we joke about it, we make light of it, but also we normalize that check to check mentality. And let me tell you, well, broke or wealthy, poor or rich, check to check is a thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's client to client or deal to deal, whatever way you make your money. But that's not reserved just for poor people or reserved for broke people. They're living check to check. And so we normalize that, we make that okay. And so people get stuck in that. And then we have the pattern. We get stuck in the pattern. So that's why I always say the two things that I do, because some of it is the strategy, it is the plan. But the second part is that emotional mastery. We've got to manage our emotions. We get to getting those dopamine shots, and I get dopamine the opposite way. So I like to give both sides of that. We criticize or judge as financial professionals the spenders, but sometimes the savers and investors can be just as bad because they never enjoy their money. They never enjoy it. And I could be on that side easier than I could be on the spending side. I don't get the dopamine from spending. I get the dopamine from saving and investing. And that makes me feel so good. So
You
then,
like looking at the ballots. That's what you like looking.
you're like, ooh, look at it go. So when it comes to actually spending or enjoying money, that's part of the money cycle too. You have to enjoy it, and it can't be a burden. It has to feel good. So when you get that enjoyment, you just keep the cycle going. So we need to manage our emotions in each area of the money cycle. And most of the time, we're not taught how to do that. So we're just replicating what we saw our parents do, or we're trying to erase what we saw our parents do. We're trying to do the opposite of that, which just swings us to the other side of the pendulum because it is that you hate, you either like reject it so much that you go so far away from it, but it's probably somewhere in the middle. So what our parents did that we didn't feel like was right is probably not all the way wrong. But what we're doing is probably not all the way right either. We need to blend some of that together. And the best way to do that is from logical brain, not from emotional brain.
My brain. That makes a lot of sense because, like, for the longest, I struggled in that capacity because I watched my parents piece it together. I watched them piece it together, and it's like I refused to piece it together. I got a bill. We're gonna pay the whole bill. We're not gonna make payments. We're gonna
Yeah.
pay the whole balance, and that way I don't have to think about it. And that mentality that a lot of us had robbed Peter to pay Paul. It's like, okay, well, I'm gonna pay this one, but I'm not gonna pay that one, and then we're just gonna go ahead and skip over this one over here because this one's more important, but this one's overdue. I understand it. Didn't like it, so
Yeah.
I don't want
But
to.
you see what you just said. You see what you just said. They were piecing it together. So you went all the way to the other side of the pendulum and you paying the whole bill. Like that feels better than piecing it together. But it could be, and I don't know, each situation is separate, but it could be somewhere in the middle is where the sweet spot is. Maybe not piecing it together, maybe not paying the whole bill. Maybe there's a strategy that makes this work where it is not emotional at all. It's completely logical.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
For me, I'm the type of person I don't want anybody calling me looking for money.
I know.
I
I
don't want
know.
looking for my money. I don't want to lose. I don't want anybody looking for
No.
their money. But also, it's a satisfaction to me when everything is paid. I don't care if I have $20 left over. I'm gonna use that $20 and probably make myself a gourmet meal with just for one. And I'm not even poor. I'm talking everything's on sale and I'm enjoying myself watching television because all my bills are paid.
I
That's my
know.
dopamine right there. I'm good. Everything's paid. Nobody's looking
Yep.
for me.
Exactly. Peace of mind.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. And then that doesn't have a price. That's priceless.
Yeah. What is
Yeah.
what are some ways that a person who, okay, let's just take single moms. Single mom,
Okay.
paycheck to paycheck, busy, busy life. They got soccer practice, basketball practice, still trying to keep their head on straight, go to work every day, would love to do something to bring more money in. What is the first thing you think she would have to do mentally and then make it tangible, make it something real?
So the first part is not tangible. The first part is going to be in the self awareness side. So first, you got to see where your deficiencies are, right? Where are you strong? Where are you challenged? So I like to break things down into these four categories. And so it's the leader, the guide, the reaper, the shine. So those four categories. Some people are leaders, and the leaders are the type of person that it was like, if they woke up in the morning and decided they were having a party, their house would be full tonight. Now, I can't do that. It would be two people there if I decided I was having a party.
Right.
But I'm a guide. So what I can do one on one, where at the end of that conversation, the person walks away feeling different. The guys just have a certain amount of wisdom and people love being with them. But most of the time, people just want to be like soak up all their knowledge and just be one on one with them, not in a group. So that's the guide. The next is the reaper. The reaper is the one that's going to have like a lot of fluctuation in their money. They're going to do the get rich quick kind of things. They're going to like think of the chia pet and the pet rock. It's the person that no matter what they touch, it turns to gold, but it also turns to ash very quickly too. So they got to get in and get out. And then the fourth one is the shine. This is the person that it's kind of like the what do they call it? The one in the room that everybody kind of the gets the most attention. That kind of person. So you have to know what kind of person you are. Are you the leader? Are you the guide? Are you the reaper? Are you the shine?
Yeah.
Because based on which one you are, you're going to find someone who is who is all the way different from you in one of those other areas. And if you're the leader, you're going to find you a guide to support you and you be because it's collaboration. It's no reason if you're especially because you specifically said single mom,
Hmm.
don't add one more thing to your plate by yourself. We're doing
Hmm.
too much. You're a single mom for a reason. Some of that is trust. A lot of people have taken your trust away. I get it. But you're going to have to find someone to trust and you're going to have to collaborate. You cannot do this by yourself. And eventually, especially us in our culture, we've got to realize this because I've traveled the world and I've seen they don't do it by themselves. Nobody else does it by themselves except for Black people and specifically Black women.
Yeah. It's a trust,
Nobody,
like you said.
Nobody's doing that.
Hmm.
So the first thing is collaboration, but you got to get to know yourself first. So get to know yourself, know who you are, then that'll help you see who your collaboration partner needs to be. And if you're a guide, you're going to go get you a leader or a reaper because they shine when it comes to making money. If you just take it on the social media, the leaders are the people who get a lot of followers. The guides, they might not get a lot of followers, but you'll see that video, shared. And it's, oh, that's so deep. That's a good point, right? The video is shared a lot. The reapers, those are the ones on the TikTok shop. They're gonna sell whatever's on there, don't matter.
Hmm.
They're selling it. And then the shines, those are people doing the dances that everybody is like. So that's how you have to look at it. Like, who is your partner? Collaborate with that person and find a way to make money before you go into, because remember the money cycle is earn, grow, protect, gift, and enjoy your money. So a lot of people want to go straight to gifting, especially us. They want to go straight to gifting. What I mean by that, is they want to start a nonprofit organization. Rich girl, you going in the wrong order. People make money and then they start nonprofit. They start nonprofit organizations because they have too much money. That's why they start nonprofit organizations. It's why. It's secondary. The cause is a secondary reason. The first is I got a lot of money. What should I do with it? Oh, let me start a nonprofit organization and give some of it away to something I believe in, not the other way around. So don't go straight to gifting. But the first thing you got to do is earn more. You just have to earn more. All of us earn more. The very, very, very best thing you can do for yourself and everybody else in the world is to be rich. And reason why I say rich and not wealthy is I'm just separating those to actual cash. Rich means you have access, there is money there. Wealthy is more around assets. That means you have real estate, right? You have investment. But like you said, you can't touch them. You can't get to them. So I'm only using those terms. We can, I know a lot of negativity is around being rich, but I'm trying to normalize that word. That's
Yeah.
why I'm rich girl, rich girl, rich girl. Like, be rich. I don't care what they told you about rich people. Just find out.
Yes, find out. FAFO. Come on, let's go.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what I'm about to do. I'm
Yes.
find out what rich people do because you know why? Because I'm gonna be one of them.
Yeah.
You don't but you don't have to do this by yourself. And I can't stress that enough. And honestly, the question you just asked me, I never answered it that way before, but it just dawned on me in the last couple of months. This is the formula. This is the formula. We all out here trying to do it by ourselves, but traveling the world, I see ain't nobody doing it by themselves.
Yeah. Like you said, it's a trust factor. And it's also,
Yep.
in my opinion, a self belief factor at the same time. Because you're dealing with a lot of people, not just women, not just single mothers, not just African American women. You have a lot of people who lack that self esteem, that confidence that's necessary to believe they can make it happen, especially in American society. We're always, this is consumer based, energy all day, every day.
Yep.
People are
Yep.
constantly spending, buying, and I like to enforce, well, what do you need? What do you need versus what do you want? Needs come first. Can you go with what you need long enough to the point where your wants can take a pause? You can put them on the back
Yep.
burner for a little while to get to your goal. So now your wants come to you with ease. Instead of saying, but I really, really want it. Yeah, okay, well, you'll get it. But work towards, whatever goals you have.
Yep.
And it will naturally just fall into place. And I experienced that a couple years back where I was like, wow, I really wanted this thing for like the past 6 years and I got it. And it was just like that, but I worked towards that. I want on a metaphysical level.
Okay.
I also understand wealth to be non-financial
Yeah,
when we attract
absolutely.
certain things. And I wanted to know if you could elaborate on how people can attract wealthy experiences without
Yes.
money.
Ooh, man, this will take the whole hour. But I have so many stories. So first of all, I like to share with my rich girls that you can do luxury for less. Let me tell you, you can do luxury for less. So I have stayed at some of the best places, been at the best restaurants, all the stuff that people put a lot of emphasis on. That's one. But two, sometimes those don't even be the best places.
No.
So you all that fanfare and all that gold is around it, and you get there and you're like, this is what everybody was tripping on. Like this ain't nothing. So that's the second part. But the experience itself has to resonate with you. So get off of the trends. Like the trends are not where it's at. Get off of the trends. They are not going to fulfill you. Now, you might go to that Michelin star restaurant because you heard about it, and because I'm not gonna whatever sugarcoat, but because sometimes they make it sound so good, the marketing is so good, the branding is so good, right? So you want to experience it too. So I get that, but it goes back to what you said. The needs come first. The wants are important too, but you have to make sure that it's what you really want. So that is a really big part of it. That's a really big part of it. Get clear on what you want. I mean, what you really want. Not what society told you to want, not what your parents told you to want, your friends told you to want, not what you want so that you will be accepted, because that's a problem for a lot of us.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, okay. So that's first. Then, second, I would say this. You talked about it when you said, like, pay your bills and then sit back and feel what that feels like, right? Because a lot of us are in desperation mode because we haven't taken care of our needs, we haven't paid our bills, or we're looking for the knight in shining armor to come and do it. But my mentor told me the cavalry ain't coming.
Coming. He's not coming. And unfortunately, Disney sold us a lie.
Exactly. Society lied to you. Disney lied to you. It is not happening that way. In the event it does, you're good. You're already, all that's already taken care of. So you're not in desperation mode. So, so now that we know what you want, right? Now that your needs are taken care of, you're clear on your actual wants. Now let's start to experience some of these. It might mean that you save up a certain amount of money to do it, or it might mean that you stay in the smallest room in the St. Regis or the Wynn or the you're gonna take the very smallest room, the one that's on sale on Hotels Tonight, whatever you do what you got to do, but at least you get to experience it, because once you get there, right? So you took the smallest room, you got it on Hotels Tonight, whatever. Don't nobody know you got it on Hotels Tonight.
There. You're there.
So you get there and you be with it all the way in it, all the
Yeah.
way in it, and you fill it up. And you don't have to fake it till you make it because you are there.
You are there. There's nothing fake. There was during the pandemic. There was a resort that I wanted to stay at for the longest. Now, it was literally built below my university. So I was watching them build it like all through college. And when I finally,
Mm.
one day, my ex and I went up there for lunch, I think it was. And then, yeah, we met for lunch because I was working as a promo model and we had an event there. And I said, oh my gosh, this is gorgeous. We drove by a lot of times. I said, I'm finally in here after watching them build it. And he said, we should stay here one day. We should come and have a staycation. I was like, yeah, but when you looked at those prices, you were like, yeah, that's not happening today. But what's crazy is during the pandemic, I came into quite a bit of fortune. And I just wanted to get out of Vegas. I'm like, the world is closed. Some things are open, no problem. And I remember renting a car and just driving. And I just said, you know what? I'm going to go stay at that resort. I spent 3 days. 3 days. I still have the receipt on my desk, like right now, because I said, I'm going back. And I want to be as comfortable, not just at that resort, but all the resorts that I want to have access
Mm.
to. I want to have that same ease experience. I'm talking the room service. I'm talking the nightlife. I'm talking the walk along the beach. I'm talking just mingling with other people. It was just an amazing experience that I said, I deserve this. I should have this,
Yes.
when I feel like
Yes.
having it. And I sat in that, and it just was something that I still take with me all the time. Like I said, the receipt's still sitting on, and I know how much it costs to stay, but it's like, why not? Why
Yes, exactly. Which is why I plan these elegant retreats. I don't call them luxury retreats because that's not the focus. It's really about the elegance. It's about the experience, the feeling that goes along with it. And so sometimes pulling our money together can allow us to have these experiences too. If we go to Marriott and say, hey, I got 10 women who want to come stay here and have this experience, and then we can get the group rate, right? You don't have to do it by yourself again. And so when I put retreats together, it's all about the experience and you not having to think about it, because some of it, it's just that it's just overwhelming just having to plan the whole thing yourself. You're like, where do I go? What do I do? I don't know any of this stuff. Like, for example, my October event is in Nice, France, but I know Nice. I've been there, what, 5, 6 times now. And so, and I know Marriott, and I'm going to talk about points in miles in a minute too. I know Marriott. I know how they work. So I can do the planning. And I've been planning for like 30 years now, maybe more. So this is a breeze. It's easy for me. You just need to come and show up and have the experience. But you also get to experience it like a local, because sometimes when you go to these resorts, you don't ever get to experience the place that you're in. Like,
Yeah.
how many times have you been to Jamaica or whatever, the Dominican Republic, and all you experienced was the Hyatt Resort? It's like, but there's a whole life out there, and you need to know
Yeah.
what that is. So that's the other part of it, is that we can't be afraid to, because they done told you, oh, don't go mingling with the locals. Mm-mm.
I just
No,
left.
no.
I just left the DR at the end of April, and we left the resort, and it was, you feel kind of like, okay, where am I? What's going on? But it functioned like a normal place. What was normal for them, but we're actually out seeing things and experiencing people. And I saw beautiful people, just normal everyday life, and I was like, this is really awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So I want to talk about miles and points, because this is a big, big way. So let's talk about fundamentally. We talked about it metaphysically, right? You're going to pay your bills so that you can be in ease. And you can feel what it feels like to just be at peace because all your bills are paid. Because most of the women we're talking about, they have money to pay their bills. They are not like on the streets. I'm not talking to those women. I'm talking to women who have money. They just might be spending it in the wrong order. So if you're going for your wants first, you're going to feel some angst, some anxiety, some regret, some guilt, some shame, because you didn't pay for your needs. But if you pay for your needs first, then there's a certain peace that comes over you once you do that. So you have this peace. You're attracting more into your life. You take the first step by getting in on hotels tonight, right? I don't know why I'm giving them such a plug tonight, but
I'm
but
hotel tonight.
I know, me too. So you do that, you get it, and then you experience it, and you be fully there. Forget the fact that you got it from a third party. Imagine that you went straight to, the Win and booked this or wherever. I use the Win because it's just one of my the Rolls Royce downstairs that you get to use. I haven't done it yet, but
Yeah.
that's on my list. That's on my list. It has to be done. So you imagine yourself there, be all the way there, be all the way there, feel it, experience it, do all the things you want, and be comfortable with that, because you already saved this money specific for this experience. So take it and do it and be all the way in this experience. Now you're creating more of that, and it becomes part of you. And then do something with people so that you can pull your resources together. But all the time, everything you do, and this is what I need to teach you, use your card. For me, it's American Express, Delta specifically American Express. So I'm building miles every single time I pay my bills. Every single time I pay my bills, me and Delta are in a partnership that says, hey, Delta, pay my bills. I'm going to pay you back. And for that, because we're in this partnership, they give me miles. So I
Yeah.
can go wherever I want. And now Delta has the Delta Stays, so you can book hotels through there too. But I have two partners. I have American Express and I have Delta. But because I live internationally, now I have to have another one, and that's Emirates. And Emirates has a really good program as well. And so you put a lot of energy. Oh, and because I am partners with Delta, I have a partner with Korea Air, which I didn't even agree to, because my partners are my partners. So I have a partnership with Delta. Delta has a partnership with Korea. So now I'm going to Hong Kong. I'm flying on Korea Air, but I'm still getting Delta points
Yeah.
because they have a partnership with. So these are the things. This is what I can help you understand
Mhm.
is how to strategize. This is what I tell people all the time. It's 80% strategy and 20% numbers. People are always saying, I'm not a numbers person, I'm not a numbers person, or, "No, I'm not good with money." Most of it is strategy anyway, which if you're a single mom, you're good with strategy.
Yeah. Yeah. I learned that very early from my financial advisor when I was in California. Money is a game and you just got to learn how to play it. And like you said, strategy. And I was talking about strategy last night about, we were talking about the internal battle. And like we're basically in a war for our lives when it comes to how we're doing this thing called life. But you're going into each and every battle with no strategy. You're just basically just fighting and everything's just chaotic. But if you don't have a strategy, a blueprint, how many times
Yep.
have y'all heard me say that? I help people create blueprints for where they want to go and what they want to do. But you take it to a whole nother level and break it down financially, how to make these things happen, how to see it in a different light. You just had a whole bunch of light bulbs go off in my head because I use my card every time. I'm a flight attendant. So I use my card every time I go to the hotel to get those points. And I don't care if it's buying a bottle of water or a bag of chips. I'm gonna
Yeah.
to rack my points up. And I've learned from the pilots, from other flight attendants, or I've heard, I haven't learned, but I've heard, oh yeah, get these points, rack this up, and you can do all these things. And I'm like, wait a minute, okay, this is how we're gonna get this going because guess what? There's a whole world to see. There's a lot to experience, and you don't have to use your paycheck.
Nope.
But what you just explained was take those credit cards and pay your bills and then pay them and it racks up. So it's basically you're killing two birds, one stone.
Yes, exactly. You're saving for your vacation by paying your bills. Now that don't make you want to go
Did
pay your
y'all
bills
catch
anymore.
that though? Did you guys put in the chat? Did y'all catch that? She just gave y'all a whole bunch of gems. And Tammy, let's be clear, because she's a Delta flight attendant. Do you understand the assignment, girlfriend? Do
I
you
love
understand
Delta.
the assignment? Honey,
I
we
did
have
not
work
know you
to
were a
do.
flight attendant.
Huh?
I did not know you were a flight
Yeah,
attendant.
I started a year and a half ago because, like I said, I intend to see the world and figure out where I want to be. Whatever's gonna
Yes.
feel, whatever's gonna call out to me, but there's so much to experience and do, and that's my version of playing rich girl. Like I
Yes.
to experience, I stay in some of the most beautiful hotels. I have the most wonderful experience. I'm accommodated in all these places. It's just like dream is work. Don't get me wrong. I have no problem working, but it's giving me access in my own way, the way that I figured, okay, let's do it, and I'm good at it.
I
And
know. I
I'm
could see
good.
that in you. I could totally see that. Now that you said it, like, oh my God, I totally see that. I feel like I probably saw you on the flight, and
Maybe.
I know. I could totally see that in you, though, because one thing you need from a flight attendant is peace. You need to feel like everything's gonna be okay, and something about your like whole aura is just like, all right, I trust her. I'm gonna be okay. If she in charge, I'm gonna be all right.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be right there as soon as they walk in the door, the big old smile on my face. And yeah, I'm happy to see you. I'm happy to be here, but I'm also happy to get to the hotel so I can relax.
Exactly. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, it's something that I created. Everything that I do is intentional. Everything I do is on purpose. I don't have a overall set in stone goal. Like I know what I want. I know what it looks like, and I'm going in that direction, one step at a time.
Yes.
My second act after raising my son, because he just turned 19 this past week, I said, what does Don want to do going forward? Because now it's really just me. Yes, I am still his advisor, but I'm an empty nester. So what do I want to do? I created Align Life Mastery so I could work it from anywhere in the world. You can coach, you can teach, you can do anything as long as you have Wi-Fi. And I said, but at the same time, when I close my laptop after I'm done talking to a client, then what? I want to walk barefoot in the beach.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
I want to be
Yep.
able to go sightseeing and things like that. I don't want to sit in my backyard. I want to go explore and see what this world has to offer. You know, so
Yes.
that's one of the reasons. And when I tell you about alignment, this fell into my lap right at the right time when all of this was taking place. And I'm like, okay, life is shifting, life is changing, and this is the perfect
Mm-hmm.
opportunity for me to take advantage of it. Why not? And I've learned so much. And on top of what you just explained, I've learned like, okay, this is doable. This can happen. And these are those gems that a lot of people don't know. You don't have to pay cash every single time you go on a trip or,
Mm-hmm.
figure out, oh, I can't, or tell yourself or talk yourself out of being able to have those experiences.
Yeah.
It don't have to be
And
well.
so, and that's another thing that I would like for us to talk about. Well, actually, it's two things that you said. One is the purpose and the intention, right? So, when you have the purpose, when you have the intention, it does just start to fall in place. But it's like you said, you don't necessarily have a goal, so to speak, but you know what you want. You're clear on what you want, especially how you want to feel. But I was having a conversation a couple of days ago here on live with a woman, this black owned business owner. Is in a community with other black owned business owners, and one of the things that I kept hearing her say, and some of the other people say, is, "Well, I can't afford this, and I can't afford that, and I can't do this, and I can't do that." And it was like the "can't" word is a bad word to me. It's like,
Mhm.
it was hurting me every time they
Fantasy.
said it. Yeah, I was like, please stop saying it. Was like it was hurting physically. I'm like, please, I need you to stop saying you can't. Like, I don't understand. I can't explain to you how harsh that is for my ears. My nervous system cannot take you. It would be like the F word
Yeah.
if somebody was just dropping the F bombs.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's how I felt. And I was like, please stop saying that. Like, maybe you haven't done it yet, but you can. Who the
Hmm.
heck says you can't? Why can't you? Let me
You
tell you
just
how
don't know how
easy.
yet. You just don't know
Yeah,
yet. Hmm.
exactly. But so that's the first thing. Like we have to get out of that, and we have to begin knowing, not just believing, because
Right.
sometimes the believing is still the lot of doubt there.
Uh-huh.
So if you're knowing, I know this is for me. And so I have this saying, like, I don't know how it's going to happen, but I know that it's going to happen. And that's it. That's all I need. I just know that's going to happen. And
Yeah.
the other thing I want to, especially for women who have done it before, maybe you had it and then you lost it, right? You had it and then you lost it. You might have done that one or two or three times. But here's the thing, if you remember that you had it, that's all I want you to focus on. A lot of times we focus on the loss, right? Especially if it's like divorce involved. You're going to hit some hard times. Even the most wealthy people, don't be ashamed of it. It happens. That's just part of life. So okay, you hit bottom. Probably didn't even hit rock bottom. You probably noticed it before you did, and now you're on your way back up. Just focus on that. All right, I'm on my way back up. I'm up. I'm coming up. I'm coming up. I'm better than I was. I'm up, 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 all the way up, like they say, right? It's like just focus on that. We're also almost always focused on the wrong part of it. What you
Hmm.
focus on expands, as they say. And this is what I want to tie back around to the last thing you said. This has to happen in an order. So you raised your son, right? You did that. Check. Now he's off, moving on. You're now his advisor. He can
Hmm.
call you and be like, what was
Exactly
that
what I
thing?
call it. I'm an advisor.
What is that thing you taught me, Mom? I'm kind of forgetting. I need
Mhm.
a reminder,
That's all I'm
kind of
here
like
for,
that.
to advise.
Yeah, he gonna call his consultant and find out
Hmm.
how do I navigate this thing that I'm in. And maybe he experiences something new, but rarely not. Once you hit 19, 20, 21, it's just kind of a repeat, and then you're just practicing and practicing and
Hmm.
practicing. So he has you for that, but now you're figuring out, okay, I want to run this business, but I want to be on the beach too. Here's the thing that I want everybody to know. You're going to get it wrong sometimes. I have called audibles and corrected along this path. I didn't know what I was doing most of the time, traveling from country to country to country. And I travel with my boyfriend who is really good at like the visa, like knowing that kind of stuff.
Mm.
I'm gonna tell you, I landed in the Cayman Islands without a visa and got pulled into the immigration office and felt like a criminal. I'm like, what the hell? They're like, woman, you need a visa. I was like, oh, well, nobody told me that. It's on our website. So I mean, luckily we put it in place. I got it all done, but this was years ago. But I got it all done. But that's not my strength. That's not what I do well. I don't know all the little ins and outs of all the countries and what you're supposed to do. So
Right.
I rely on my mom. I rely on my boyfriend. I rely on my best friend to find that stuff out for me, and they know it. They know it. They're like, she probably ain't even look. And so they go and they're like, oh, you said you was going to where? Oh, okay. Well, this is their visa process. I'm like, oh,
Thank you.
thank you.
But that's like
So
you said, that's your team. That's your collaboration in your personal life.
So just know you're going to make some mistakes along the way, but going back to the collaboration, you're going to have the people around you and lean on them, lean on them. And then once you figure it out that, okay, now you know, just like we said about your son, he's not going to have a lot of new experiences. He's just going to be practicing how to maneuver in each experience. So it's like, okay, now I know I need to look at the visa process. Now that part I know now. I got it. Now, okay, what's next? And then I have one client that she really, really had her heart set on this one place. This is where she wants to move. And we're going down the list of needs that she has. And I've been to this place and I'm like, this doesn't have that. And this, all the things that are on your, I can't have this and I can't have that, they're in this place that you have your heart set on. Can I ask you, why do you have your heart set on this place? It was some old thing she connected to that was like, well, that's what I wanted. It was like 10 years ago or something, blah, 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 blah. Okay, a lot has changed in 10 years. You've had a back surgery, so you can't walk very far. This place is all about walking. They have a lot of heels. You can't do heels. The, the food is bland. You said you want all the good food and yummy, yummy, yummy. The food there is very bland. This is not about yummy. That's not what they're known for. So you're gonna have to rethink this. And then we said, and sometimes I get kind of bossy. I'm Capricorn, and we said,
One of my favorite kind of people.
so, but eventually she came back and she was like, I got some new places. These are my top three. And that other place was out of the list. I was like, good job. And then we picked one, and now she's focused on her year plan to get there. She has 1 year to get things in place, to sell her house, to get rid of the old, because you're going to be scaling down most of the
Yeah.
time. You're not going to be moving and getting more. Please don't do that. Please don't
Right.
do that. Start small and then build up from there. So she's selling her house. She's, getting rid of things she doesn't need, collecting the things she will need in a new place. She has a whole year-long plan. And it's not a wave your magic wand.
Right. It's a process.
Yeah.
The whole process. I love that. It's crazy because what earlier today I was talking to myself about my year started today with something that I want to see come into fruition. And I it was weird. I think full moon's happening or something. I don't know.
I think
Some
so.
transformation. I'm like, it must be a full moon. And I said, okay, well, today is day one of 365. So by this time next year, I intend to see this thing happen. It is leading me towards leaving and figuring out where. And I said, I have to plan this out. I have to be intentional.
Yep.
My intention actually initially was to move when I was fit when I turned 50. And I said, I don't know if I'm gonna make it another 7 years. I don't know. I said maybe we'll move it up to 45. I don't know. That gives me 2 years. But I said, let me pace myself. Let me see how I
Yeah.
feel, and what I'm
Yeah.
doing. But I said, we'll give myself a year to meet this goal, to make this thing happen, and then we'll go from there. But that is a big deal. Having an idea, first of all, that becomes what you truly want.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
then saying, okay, how can I make this happen? Creating the strategy, the blueprint, coming up with scenarios. Okay, I like making well, what if this happens instead? Kind of like
Mm-hmm.
preparing
Mm-hmm.
for snacks.
Yeah.
And then it's the actual plan of execution, step by step, day by day, month by month, year by year, how to get to that goal. That to me is the ultimate strategy for life. Like, how are
Yes.
you going to make this actually happen? Living intentional is one of my, I bark that all day, all night. Why are we not living on purpose? Like I said, on purpose, with purpose, and unapologetically. I'm doing it, Frank Sinatra, my way. Okay.
Yep.
Because this is what fills me up. This is what my spirit is calling me to do. This is what in
Yep.
my heart space I feel is right. And
Yep. Exactly.
and then letting go of the fear. Don't
Mm-hmm.
be afraid. Everything new, everything different, everything foreign is scary.
Yeah. So really what you're saying is be afraid, just do it.
Just do it. Do it afraid.
Yeah.
Do it scared.
Yeah.
Do it unknowingly. Do it uneducated. Because they
Mm-hmm.
say when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. Here she go, y'all. She right here.
Yes. And that's so interesting that you say that because when it comes to investing, a lot of times the information out there is so off. It says invest in what you know. But if you're just starting out, what the hell do you know?
Yeah.
Nothing. You don't wait to know something to invest in it. And sometimes that's what you find out. You just invest a small amount and you learn about it. You see how it works, and then you can put more in it. Where you see that's not for you and you go a different direction. But like you don't have to know everything. And then
Yeah.
that goes back to why you get the advisor. You need the collaboration partner. You need the advisors. Some of us do not respect professional counsel, and that has gotten in our way. You've got to respect professional counsel.
Yes.
Just like going back to your son, like you'll become his professional counsel. You've done it before. You're years ahead of him.
Mhm.
He at least could rely on some of your data.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And also his training. I raised him to be a self thinker. I raised him to really consider his own choices and to make good choices, to weigh out the pros and cons. He's a Gemini too, so of course he's going to go back and forth with, oh, they're asking me for a puzzle piece. Hold on just a sec. All right.
Okay.
There we go. Of
Okay.
course, he's going to go back and forth with the indecisiveness, but I always
Mm-hmm.
told him what my grandfather used to tell us: just go ahead and sleep on it, see how you feel about it the next day.
Mm.
Proud of him because he does make great choices for himself, even if he feels like, okay, maybe I shouldn't have done that, but it still was something that you were definite about, and it just didn't work out.
Yeah.
And you move on to something else. So when it comes to, like you said, advisor, he's already thought it through and had an executive meeting with the board already before he presents it to me.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of
Mm-hmm.
trained him and taught him, I've already got a lot going on in here as an Aquarius. This does not end. I don't need yours too. So have an executive decision. And
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
present
Yeah.
it to me and we'll talk about that. But his new and preconceived ideas, he doesn't even bring those
Mm-hmm.
to me. He doesn't like, hey, I got an idea. No, he really is like, I thought about this, I worked this out, I got all the details, and this is what I found, and so on and so forth. And I'm like, whew, bravo.
He's like, yep. And here is what I just need some direction, and like fill in the
Right?
blanks.
What do you think about this? How does this sound? I'm like, it sounds
Yep.
good. And still he needs his mother to say, great job.
Yep.
He's
Mm-hmm.
still a kid, so he still needs that. And I'm
Yeah.
you always know where to find me, no matter what. And he knows I would do
Yeah.
anything and everything for him. Period. You know.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I feel
And
like
that's awesome that he knows that and then doesn't use that power. And because that's a lot. Like people, if I would say anything as a therapist, as a counselor, the one thing that most of my clients, especially my teenage clients, complain about is them not trusting their parent. They do not trust their parents.
Mm.
So if he and so because they don't trust their parents, they test their parents
Mm.
because they don't trust them. They test them. So it's always an emergency. It's always something, or they're going too far to the other side. They're testing and testing, testing. Are you really there for me? Do you really love me? I'm gonna make you prove it to me.
Ooh, I'm glad we don't do that. What he does do is sometimes he'll test my patience.
Well, that's first of all, that's boys.
Yeah, he always likes to fool with me, like his birthday. Case in point, his birthday, I wanted to take a picture with him, and I'm all smiling, and he's got stone face, like he's looking real drabby. And I said, act like I just paid you for this picture, because I did. Basically, I gave you money for this picture. Next thing I know, my mother says, "Come take your selfie with me," and he's like, and he's looking at me, and I'm like,
So phony.
that on
So
purpose. No, that on purpose.
phony. Hey, Jiu-Jitsu Panda. Yeah, I'm so glad you're here.
What got you into your fields? I'm gonna say fields. What
Yeah.
what pulled you
Ooh, okay. I gotta
to
I
do
gotta put this
it?
mic down for this. Okay, so here's the story. Here is the story, and this is I'm gonna try to make this the short version because I know I want to be mindful of your time and the time of your listeners. Um, so I originally, out of high school, thought I was going into the entertainment industry. Like that was all I ever wanted. That's all I ever wanted was to make film and television, make films, make television shows. Never wanted anything more. I didn't even apply to college unless it had a film and television. And I only applied to two. One was New York
Yeah.
University. The other one was Columbia in Chicago. I got accepted at New York University. However, they said I have no money for you, nothing for you. You will have to pay this tuition on your own. And I was like, huh? Huh? I'm gonna need some help. No money, no scholarship money, no money at all. None. No scholarship money, no loan money, no financial aid, nothing, zero. You're just gonna pay this on your own. So that meant pivot. That meant pivot. So I went to a different school. I went to Mississippi Valley University. And I got a scholarship there. Because I got a scholarship, I went to Mississippi Valley University. And I realized this don't even have, not only do they not have a film and television program, they don't care anything about the life that I'm building for myself. They don't even have speech. They don't even have communication, like nothing in entertainment at all. They teach you how to be a teacher. They teach you how to be an accountant. They teach you, yeah, just a job, to go get a job. And I wasn't really planning to get a job. So I stayed there a year with my scholarship. And then the next year I told my parents, my mom, Dad, I can't stay here. Like, this is not on path for me. This is not on purpose. This is a money decision. I'm making the decision to go here so that we can afford this. And I'm not doing that. That's not how I didn't grow up in Christ Universal Temple, which is the name of the metaphysical church that I went to. I didn't grow up in Christ Universal Temple for me to start having lack mentality. Like, no, I was raised to believe that whatever I wanted was possible. So I left Mississippi Valley State University. I took a semester off, ended up in Columbia, where I really wanted to be. During that time, I started working, and my mom did some research, and she figured that I could be a independent student, I think is the name of it. So she basically divorced herself from me or whatever and allowed me to be independent. So stopped filing me on her taxes or whatever so that I could be independent. And that's how I got my financial aid as a independent student. So I graduated from Columbia. That's where I ended up getting my degree in television production. And I got into the industry and I was like, oh my gosh, like everything y'all hear on TV, news, all of that, is that plus. So the
Yeah.
stuff that y'all hearing today, 30 years later, was what it don't even scratch surface. And it was what I had experienced when I got in. And I was like, you just walk in the door and they offer you things.
Yeah.
Would you like some volume? You're like, I'm sorry, what? Would I like some what? Some cheese, crackers? Like, no. They have it on a platter.
Uh-huh.
Too much stuff was going on this phone. I was getting all kind of
It's fine.
reminders. It's 9 o'clock, and it's like a couple of reminders that come on at 9 o'clock in the morning. Sorry. So I was like, this place is too decadent for me. Like, I don't know how to survive with all of these substances and alcohol and all the SE. Like, it was just
All of
coming
it.
all. It's not even the focus. It's not the film, the television show, the production. That is not the focus. It's all this other stuff. And I felt like you could stay in here and get yourself lost and lose all your religion.
Yep. All of it.
So I was like, it has to be another way. And this is hilarious. And it's a lot of fluctuation in the film industry too, and television. You had your favorite television show, and the next thing you know, it's canceled. So you have a job. You can have a job for 3 straight years. And then with no notice, they're like, cancel, won't be a fourth season. And you're like, what? What do I do? I haven't been looking for a job. But this is why people are so phony in the industry, because you really don't know what's going to happen next. So you have to be nice to everyone, even if you don't like them. Because that same person that was like a production assistant on one job could turn around and be the freaking producer on another job, and just because no reason. It's very metaphysical in the entertainment industry. You had no even.
Instantaneous. You just don't know.
Mhm. Yeah, it does, and it moves so fast. So I was like, yeah, no, I can't. Um, sorry, it was like background. I don't know what was going on, but so it's like I can't do this. So I made the shift to finance, and interestingly enough, in finance, it's just the same amount of decadence. Because it's so much, it really has to do with the amount of money. It's so much money there that people, they get bored. And so it's like, oh, well, what else can we do? Oh, well, why don't we bring in a tiger and somebody do something with the tiger? It's like, what? Because they get bored and they need those shots of dopamine, and they can't get it from the money anymore. So I get in finance and I realize it's just as fluctuation, just as much fluctuation, and it's just as much decadence. So I'm
Yep.
like, it's gotta be something else. And my manager at Morgan Stanley came to me. He said, "Look, you do this other thing really well, and you seem to really like it." And by this time, it's 2012. I had already written my book. No, it's 2016. I had already written my book. I had already been doing some coaching on the side, and I had already built sort of a business aside from my Morgan Stanley business. They call it an outside business activity. So I had this outside business activity, and that's how he came to me. So, this outside business activity you're doing really seems to be where your heart is. My manager, who I'm making every dollar I make, he makes money off of. But that's how, like, the universe works, where you will find somebody who has your back. And this white male who does not benefit at all from giving me this information looked me in my face and said, you got 30 days to decide. Either you're giving your all to being a financial advisor, or you're giving your all to being a life coach, or whatever it is you're doing over here. Okay.
That ultimatum that you needed.
Yep. So I went and I really searched my soul, and I was like, I don't love building portfolios. Like, I don't love that. I think it's sometimes needed, but I don't love it. I don't love going out and getting clients, like the sales part of being a financial advisor. What do I love? I love the part where I get to teach. I love the part where I get to advise. I love the part where I get to guide. Like, when I start naming the parts that I love, then it was like, he's right. I got to make a decision. And it was a tough decision, because I'm going from now, as a financial advisor, you don't make the same amount of money every month. It's based on sales and how much assets under management you have. So yes, my income was fluctuating over there, but I kind of knew how much I was going to make, and it was a good amount. And you have so many perks that you feel like a millionaire as a financial advisor, especially for a company like Morgan Stanley, because there's so many perks. And so I was giving up a lot of perks, more than a check, because it's not a check. You still own your own business, to go back to school, get my master's in clinical mental health counseling, start all over, making what, $20,000 a year or something I made when I was a student. Excruciating, but I knew it was the right thing to do. So even as a financial advisor, I've had that experience. I know what, now it's time for my puzzle piece. I know what it feels like. I know what it feels like to have all of those experiences. I can get back to them because I've been there before. And this is what I was going to say earlier. I didn't say that I want your listeners to hear is once you hit a certain amount of money, that becomes your new floor. So if you don't believe in yourself, at least believe you can do that. So if you've made, $30,000 in 1 month, if you did it once, you can do it again. Just know that. So that becomes your new floor. So 30,000 a month, that's your new floor. You can do it. Always know you can get back to it. So that was the mind I had. I was like, you know what? I know I could at least get back to that, if nothing else.
Okay.
So let's just go into being a counselor. Let's get that master's. Let's pour into the people. And then I did a bunch of changing and pivoting. And I realized I need to marry the two together. I need to take that financial background I have, marry it with the mental health, and teach people how to manage their money as well as their emotions. So that's how the whole
That's how
crazy
it's
story.
born.
Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't that incredible how our path leads us to our purpose? I too was in the entertainment industry. From the time I could spit, I was obsessed with the music industry. I was a singer, songwriter, and a recording artist. And I started my career somewhere between 11 and 14. I know I first started singing at 11, but I always say I got into the industry at 14. And I'm telling you, all I wanted to do was sing and write and perform and to be the next, no, be the female version of Berry Gordy. I wanted my own empire. And yeah, it's yeah, what you see on TV news, all that is, and then some.
Yeah.
Luckily, I got out of there squeaky clean. Like, I didn't entertain any of that because I was focused on the goal, the dream. And when I hit about 22, 23, it really wasn't the same for me anymore. Not at that time. Also, that's when music pirating started and Napster was taking over.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it was like, what happened? It was just like, what's happening? And a lot of my friends and people that I knew, they were getting dropped from their labels. They were getting, put on definite shelving, and it's just like nobody knows what to do at this point. And so I started, merging into my other lane. My other lane was in the beauty industry. I was great. I was already hustling doing hair.
Yeah. I skipped over that. I skipped over that part. But yeah, I was in the.
You were in barbering, right? See, that's what I'm talking about. This is alignment, y'all. Let's be clear, okay? Did hair and makeup, but I did behind the scenes. So I was still in the industry. I was also television, film, and as well as, editorials and red carpets, the whole nine. But it was like something is tugging at me as I'm going through life traumas, a lot of my followers know my previous relationship 10 years ago was one of domestic violence. And so that was a breaking point for me, or a breaking opening for me to explore on myself. Who am I? What am I doing? How is this supposed to go? This can't be what I saw for myself, And that's how I got into personal development, trying to fix me. Like, something's wrong with me. If I'm condoning this right here, something's wrong with me. I need to fix this. And what I didn't realize was that being on stage, performing, being in front of people was now natural for me.
Yeah.
Encouraging women, uplifting women, sitting in my chair, helping them feel more beautiful, enhanced. That was a gift and an ability as well, because they believe me and I believe me too. I'm like, okay, great. And then the personal development, and then, going on my spiritual journey and just recognizing, wait a minute, this is something that I'm supposed to give back to people. So when
Mm,
my mother told me, she said, "You're an orator." And I was like, "What?" She's like, "People listen to you talk. They listen to what
yeah.
you have to say. You have some good stuff. Now get it formulated, get it in order so people can
Yeah.
understand it and grow from there." And
Yeah.
it's a thing where it feels amazing. It feels like you said, you knew you made the right choice, even though it was starting from scratch. It was starting from
Yeah.
the beginning, but not technically from scratch because you have experience, you have
Exactly.
keys, you got
Yeah.
something to stand on to say, okay, and you also knew, I don't know how, but I know I'm gonna make it.
Yes, and I mentioned it slightly, but I wrote a book called The Art of Starting Over. So, and I told you already, I had three different careers, three different businesses, right? So I know how to start over. Like I'm the queen of starting over. I trust myself in that. It's like totally got, and now I know. And like you said, you take all that information and you feed that data into the new algorithm, and you're like, ah, okay, this is what I'll do. This is how I'll do it. And then this is the part that the universe, because let's be clear, going back to metaphysics, all I need is the what. I leave the how up to the universe. I do not get in the universe business with that. And whenever I do, I mess it up and I'm like, you know what, universe? You do the how.
Uh-huh.
Let me do the what. I'm gonna keep feeding you the what. This is what I want. This is what I want. This is the what. What. How is on you.
Uh-huh. And the when too. The when is none of my business. When it's time, it'll happen. If you want me to know, I'll know. But in the
Hmm.
meantime, it's the what. Okay, what's my step for today? What's my mission? What am I to accomplish? You go by inspired action. You go by what feels right. And it's funny because some days might be a nothing day. It might be a nothing day where you just sit and you just be, and you got to be okay with that because you never know, something will pop up because
Yeah, because it really is all something.
yeah, if you chose
Yeah, it. You might not be doing nothing, but the universe is doing
to,
this
doing
thing.
something. It's doing something. It's doing
And
something all
sometimes you doing something is in the way of the universe. It's like sit your butt down, girl. Like
the feet.
rich girl, sit down.
That's
I
where
definitely need to be told to sit down sometimes.
yeah, that's where I am right now. I'm learning how to not have that eager urgency feeling within myself because it's like, okay, what you when you get to that point of you're creating something and it doesn't feel like it's flowing. I usually take a pause. I don't stop. I take a pause and say, okay, which way am I supposed to be flowing? And I wait for it to unfold. And for me, I was so hell bent on getting clients, getting people to sign up for this, getting people to sign up for that. And I was like, no, it's not working right now. When I say that, it's not working right now. So I'm meant to do something else. And then this came back into my heart space. And so Tuesday, I'm like, no, let's have these conversations. Let's learn from each other. Let's build and grow with one another and inspire these people who are on this platform looking for that something, you know?
Yeah, I feel like I don't know if the timing is right, but I do want to share something with you.
Absolutely.
So remember earlier I said the leader should connect with the guide. You are acting like a guide, but actually you're a leader.
Yeah.
So when your mother said you need to get it all in a package or whatever, I forget her words, but it's because that's not the leader's job to get it all in a package. The leader's job is to get the people to the room. The leader's job is to call and make I'm having a party. That's the leader's job. The guide's job is to then pour into the people one by one. So where the leader would a lot of times on the in this interweb social media or whatever, it's like either or. It's like, no, don't have a one-on-one business, have a group business. Don't have a group business, have a one-on-one business. Don't do this, do this. It's like, wait, hold up. You can have all those pieces if you collaborate. So some of it might be that you're doing the pieces that aren't you, where maybe the group part is you, maybe the one-on-one is another person, maybe this other piece over here is another person, and that collaboration will bring it all together. And that's why I say I wasn't sure if the timing was right, because sometimes I'm a little early, but I'm sharing that because that's what I see you as a leader, but I also see you working as a guide, sort of.
Yeah, that when you say that, it makes sense because if you recall the time when everybody was freaking out about TikTok shutting down, something in my spirit says take this offline. So I then began a small community of like-minded women. And every other Sunday we meet. I think there's a couple in here right now. Every other Sunday we meet and we just, it's called my sacred circle. And so we just get together and we talk and we celebrate each other. We got a group chat on the phone. I mean, I am planning something for us next year to get together, but it being that you just said that, you confirmed something for me. You confirmed that for me because it's like, yeah, I saw myself as the guy, but it's like, yeah, I do. I'm a networker, so it's that thing where it's like, yeah, maybe it's time for me to intentionally shift over into that space.
Yep, yep. I got you because you're talking about a program. I am not a leader. If I decided today that I was doing a party, I need at least 3 weeks to get enough people in that room to really have a party. And then I need to talk to each individual person, and I can't.
It's crazy because all
So
I got to do is sound the alarm, and it's so funny to say that because
I
I
know.
know my 41st birthday, I said I'm gonna go to LA and I'm gonna have a dinner party with my girls because I hadn't seen them in a couple of years. And I said, okay, so I made a flyer the whole night and sent it out to them, and I told them, you know how to show up. Basically, you know how to show up. They came, they looked fabulous. We had a great time. Those that couldn't make it, they were like, can I see you the following day or something like that? It was like they just came all they
Mm,
all came in. And so it makes sense to me now. It, it's
yep.
it's that thing where it's like mentally now take that role that you know you are capable of, but you've run from it for so long. I try to tell
Yeah.
people on this platform, we don't have it all figured out. We maybe have expertise and experience in a lot of these spaces, but as you can see in real life on TV, I'm being told about myself. I'm being told
Yeah.
having a realization like, yeah, I've been running from a leadership position in life, in jobs. I used to do it all the time, in group work, in school. I used to be like, I don't want to lead the pack. You guys go ahead and knock that out. I'll get up and I'll say the stuff, but I don't want to do all the other stuff, but
Yep. Yep.
I take pride. And then on the airplanes, I'm usually the lead flight attendant. Anyways, I
Mm.
will say I know I am an amazing chief, but I have no problem being an Indian. None whatsoever. I will,
Yes. And
and
when when a leader and a guy get together, those titles that you just said, Chief Indian, like that shifts a little bit because the leader, you heard of the servant leader, right? The leader sometimes does serve the guide, but a lot of times the guide serves the leader, and they kind of it's like they feed each other. So you will do both if you collaborate with a guide. The challenge would be if a leader and a shine got together. It would be it's just too much. It's too much, and it needs some grounding
yeah,
in there. You need some grounding in there, and that's what the guide brings the grounding.
okay,
Yeah.
wow, that's
So we definitely can talk more about that, but that's just my insight into it. And probably a lot of the women on your side is just that they're not in their lane and they're trying to like make something happen in another lane because they think it's their lane or they're misinterpreting their lane a little bit. Not anything wrong, not that it's anything wrong with them. They're not making any mistakes. It's just this is what their interpretation. But and your interpretation comes from when you're 5 years old, and that's not your fault that you're acting out your 5-year-old self because it hasn't been undone. And that's the work that I do. That's the hypnotherapy part of it. It's like we're undoing the program that came from 5 years old because that none of that was your fault. But now it is your responsibility to shift it. But that 5-year-old self made some interpretations. And although you were a good observer, you weren't really a good of an interpreter. You didn't have enough information to interpret. So now you have it in your head what your place in life is, but you made that decision because 85% of your beliefs are put in place by 5 years old, and then 95 by age 15. So it's not really a lot of room left for new information. Remember, I said your son ain't learning nothing new. He's
Right.
repeating the same thing. And that 5% is the only thing you have left for new information. So now we have to redo your program so that you can get your authentic, what I call your authentic wealth code, and it's aligned, it's completely aligned. Head, heart, gut, and spirit all aligned based on who you are, not on who you've been.
Ooh, ooh. I did a hypnotherapy session. Oh my God, I'm having brain fart right here. You know when I say it, but it was a session on rejection, and I was actually talking about rejection last night, and she took me
Mm.
all the way back to the first time I felt rejected, that feeling,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And I was really little, and it actually came from my older brother, because before then I had not identified with that feeling. And she helped me walk through the process of talking to that little version of myself and saying who loves you, you know, and who hurt you, and you do know you're gonna be okay, right? We're fine. And I hugged her and all this stuff. And then it graduated into being an older kid and so on and so forth. And that's how I got to the point of nobody can reject me. Even if they do reject me, you can't, because I'm too accepting of myself. I receive myself. I allow myself to be fully me. And I love that part about me. I love those things about me. I can
Yeah.
identify when someone is rejecting me, and I'm like, oh, is that what you're doing? Okay. Well, nice try.
Oh,
But
poor you, poor you.
yeah.
Oh,
But I
I'm
also
so
know there's
sad that you're rejecting me. Poor you.
it's a shame. But there's other areas, you know, that, and I encourage people to get, you know, go through hypnotherapy, because it
Mm-hmm.
does get to those underlining things that have tucked so far deep
It
into
does.
conscious, you just don't even, you can't recall, you don't know. And
Yep.
sometimes, like you said, it happens before we're 2 years old, even it can happen.
Exactly.
And
Yep. It's
how
0 to 7 is what I like to say is the. I really am looking for what happened between 0 and 7 years old when I'm doing the therapy. Um, Now, a lot of times the brain won't let you go back there, so you are very you were very open, is the word I'll say, and your brain was ready. So it allows you to go back, but sometimes people don't, their brains are not letting them go back that far. They won't go to the first time. They'll go to a time when it happened at 16, but that wasn't the first time. That wasn't the first time. That's just the one your brain is ready to release. So let's do it. Let's go ahead and release that one. But we're gonna need to go further.
yeah.
We're gonna need to go further back. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Hmm.
Yeah, I recommend it for everybody in the live. Please, please follow my dear friend Kiné Porter. She is brilliant. I told you guys, I've just been on fire over here, just and to actually converse with you and realize we have that much more in common. I mean, to me, it's alignment. You're stuck with me forever. Let's just be clear about that.
Oh, yay! Look at me.
Definitely, but lucky us, because honey, there's so
First
much.
of all, I have to tell you, my sister is a Aquarius, and I attract Aquarius. Aquarius love me, and it always feels so good to be loved by an Aquarius.
Okay, so Capricorns, all of my childhood friends were Capricorns.
Really?
A lot of my friends now are Capricorns. I have friends of all, you know, all walks of life, of course, but the people who are very close to me are primarily Capricorns. My dad was a Capricorn. Uh,
My
I'm a
dad too.
Capricorn. I'm a Capricorn moon. It's just
Oh, wow.
yeah, I'm a
Yeah.
Taurus rising, but a Capricorn moon. But Taurus and Aquarius are
Mm.
double stubborn, so it's Capricorn has always been something that I've a, a sign that I've connected the greatest, because you guys are also intellectuals. You can hold your own conversation. We take no BS from anybody. And it's just calm, chill, grounded, just great energy all the time. And if you ever need somebody to have your back, a Capricorn is really gonna have your back and vice versa.
Yep, yep, yep. Exactly.
Yes, yes.
That's so wild. So my moderator over here, who is Jiu-Jitsu Panda, you've probably seen him in my lives. He is also an Aquarius, and that kind of just like solidifies what I just I attract Aquarius. He just swooped in and saved me. In one live, I was getting like all of these predator
Mhm.
pervert types, and he was like, "All right, like shut it down." And it had been happening to me all week long, and he just came in and like bodyguard and was like, "All right, from now on, this is how you handle it. I'm gonna moderate." Thank God. So, like you just said, Aquarius got your back. Like Aquarius do not like to see injustice. Like
No, not
they
at
do
all.
not like to see injustice, and
Not at all.
so and they will ride, and they're loud. Like they're not going to be like, "Oh, that's something bad happening, guys,
Mm.
don't do that." No, Grace like, "Wait a
First
minute."
of all, we coming in with both barrels loaded because we're really calm, chill, and we will be quiet for the most part. But when we see something that's not right, yeah, I got something to say.
Exactly.
I
Yeah,
got
yeah.
something to say. Well,
And he said his wife is an Aquarius, is a Capricorn, and they've been married 20 years, and
wow.
that is a great combination. Like if you're smart enough to know how to make that work, because it can also be a
Yeah,
horrendous.
it's because it's two signs that are right next to each other, so it might not. You'll bump heads.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. But I'm glad I'm stuck with you. I appreciate
I'm
you.
coming to Malaysia. I'm coming to find you. You know, I can fly anywhere I need to. I'll
And
come.
I will be in Las Vegas soon. I think August or like the end of July, beginning of August.
You have to tell me. You have to
Okay,
tell
absolutely.
me right
Yeah.
here.
I mean, we're gonna talk 10 times before that,
Sure
so
are. Oh my gosh, you guys. Oh my gosh. I've been waiting since I asked you to come on. I was like, I have to go. Oh my God, you're amazing. You are. Oh. All right. My
thank
new
you, thank
bestie.
you, thank you.
All right,
Yes,
everybody. Like I
yes.
said, if you're not following Kiné, please go follow her. She is amazing at what she does. She has so much wisdom and information to give you on how to become that rich girl or that rich guy, whichever. In today's conversation of living a rich life, creating wealth from the inside out, I hope you guys got something from us tonight. Come back, see us. Can I please? I already know you're gonna be back. We're gonna
Yes.
have more conversation,
Absolutely.
more
We had
layers.
because we need to get we had a great conversation today, and I love that we had a conscious conversation, but we also want to be conscious of the steps. So we're going to break it down and deliver those steps to them.
Come
Hmm.
on now, yes. Oh, this is
Yes. So this is just the beginning.
Oh,
This
I
is
wanted
just the
to I
beginning.
wanted to touch on too. The other day you gave me a tip to help with sleeping and you said
Hmm.
chant lead me as I'm going to
Hmm.
sleep. And when I tell you my sleep has improved, I will say this. My dreams are becoming more vivid, a little strange,
Yeah.
but they're
Yeah.
becoming
Yeah.
more vivid, but my sleep has gotten better. I don't wake up as tired. Now I am a flight attendant, so my sleep is weird, but
Yeah.
I remember that first night I did it. I did not wake up as exhaust. I didn't feel that exhaust, sleepy feeling, and I was like,
Wow.
okay. And I said, I can't wait to tell her. I can't wait to let her know that I'm practicing this, so that way my sleep becomes more restful. That's what I'm looking.
Yes. Oh, that was such a great ending. I'm glad you mentioned that because that's the number one question that I ask all my ladies. What's keeping you up at night? And the two, no matter what, if I don't get the chance to talk to you, if I'm just like posting or something, the two statements, that one, lead me, and the other one is I am safe. And you
Mm-hmm.
probably needed I am safe earlier in life because
Mm-hmm.
you was going through some things. So
Yeah.
you probably found your safety, and now it's like, okay, what's next?
Uh-huh.
Lead me was the right thing for that moment. But there are going to be some ladies, probably the ladies in your group, who need that safety. They need to feel that they are safe.
Ooh, I love you. Oh my gosh. Don't we love her? We love her. Oh my
Oh my
God.
gosh. Thank you guys. I got my
Thank
new
you for
tribe.
being here. I can't wait to have another conscious conversation with you again, on and offline. But you guys have a
Yep.
wonderful night. Thank you for tuning in. If you didn't get to catch this live, it will be up on my YouTube channel tomorrow. So check it
Ah,
out, and I will be posting a clip or two from this conversation as well. And I'll send you the link also once it's up.
okay, yes, let me
All right.
know. Thank you and nice meeting you,
Have a wonderful
ladies.
day.
Okay, you guys have a wonderful
Be well.
night.
Be
Talk
well.
soon.